Cool. Yeah, thanks for everyone for joining the meeting. I think Satyam, you had a topic you put on the agenda.
Yeah. Yes.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. This is the last week of September, and next month is October, and Hacktoberfest is coming up. Hacktoberfest is from DigitalOcean. So, day to day, it is very difficult for me and team to find time to spend on the scope. But I think we can certainly attract some community here in the Bangalore for ViewScope. So I think ViewScope should participate in the Hacktoberfest, and we can have some good contributions from the community members, and we are always here to help. So we were planning like a similar thing for OpenEBS, and I proposed here that we will have one small hackathon for ViewScope in Bangalore. It would be good if we tag the issues with the Hacktoberfest label, and they will get picked by the external contributors. So this will give the reach to project to wider community. So that's my thought. Opinions are welcome. Yeah.
That sounds great. If you need help tagging the UI ones, I'm happy to help. Sounds like a fun thing.
Great.
And the labels you were suggesting, what is it, like Hacktober something?
Yes.
Is that like?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, actually, it's a label, just one small label, Hacktoberfest, and we just have to put it on the issue. The way we put the good timers first, or UI component, right? So similarly, easy ones plus the one which we think that can be fixed by someone who is looking at the project for the first time. Mm-hmm. So this would help. I will share a detailed plan for this, like how it works and all. Probably I'll put the link in the notes later tomorrow.
Cool. And the label you were suggesting, is that like an official thing that is suggested by the Hacktoberfest organizers, so people can find it more easily, or is it something we need to, I don't know, document somewhere?
No, actually that label is very common. So on GitHub, user will come and they will just search for that particular label, and our project will be added into that particular list of projects. Okay, which are accepting the contributions. So this is the way like it works. So we just have to add one label to our issue that this is the particular label, Hacktoberfest, and then that will appear in the list of labels for that particular for that month. And later we can remove those labels once October is done.
It's really great that you brought this up. This could be a nice avenue for new contributors to come in.
Yeah.
So when I was working on Ubuntu, we did this kind of bug days or whatever we called them. We did them a couple of times. Like from my experience, it might be a good idea to go through the current issues we have and see if we have some, I don't know which labels we already use for scope, but something like size small or help wanted or whatever we have, and just have a pass over them and see if they still apply, and see if people need like an additional small pointer, like look at this file to fix it, or blah, 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 this should be easy, something. And maybe see if our current docs are up to date, like how to run the build, how to test things locally, that kind of stuff. So people have a really straightforward experience trying to fix these bugs. Like if there's any help required to put this together, and we could also tweet it, post it on the mailing list we have, make sure that a message is pinned in the channel so people find things instantly. Like I'm happy to help with that, because it's always fun to see new people come in.
Yes, this sounds good. We'll definitely take this forward. The things which you mentioned, like updating the documentation and all, those can be simple issues itself, just to get started with.
Right. Idea. Does Scope use the GitHub wiki?
I think it's not updated, GitHub wiki for the Scope.
Maybe we should just do like a Hacktober wiki page where everything is on one page.
Mm.
We can down once Hacktober is over. But...
Right. We don't have much content here on the wiki, but yeah, we can definitely add some 1 or 2 pages here.
Cool.
Yeah, regarding how to contribute and all. So yeah, that's all from my side.
So there's a, you were talking about the labels. There's a label, Good First Issue, which I think Fons went through and applied that to about 30 issues. It's always hard to try and do that, but we have that. That's GitHub recommend that you use that Help Wanted and Good First Issue. So we have about 30 with Good First Issue, and we have about 37 with Help Wanted, some of which are in both categories. And we'd also have an estimate hours, days, and weeks. Those, they're not universally applied. Again, it can be very hard to guess how long something's going to take.
I will take a quick look at the UI ones. If Fons was tagging them, I might have a better idea on the UI part, whether it's accurate. But did you want to suggest then that we go with these tags, or are we just mentioning that?
No, I'm saying we've already got that.
Right. So,
I mean, if you want to add more, like one more or something like that, then that's fine. But we've got those already.
Right. Just wondering how it would be like, how it works in practice with searching through the tags. Maybe that's why it would be easier. If it would be just even a temporary thing, like that users could just access it by this one word.
Sure. Yeah.
Even scripted. Just remove the label once November it says.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, Daniel, can you create a label called Hacktoberfest in the ViewScope repo? Actually, we don't have right to assign the labels. So again, like someone from you only will have to add these labels to the issues.
Yeah, Philip is just setting it up as we speak.
Okay, cool. That's great then. Fine, that's all.
Yeah, it's my day off tomorrow, but feel free to ping me Thursday morning, and then we can go through the stuff we just discussed and see what's still missing and where can help. As I said, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Cool. Does anyone else have any updates or stuff you want to discuss?
Yeah, Daniel, just one quick update. Today, like we had a discussion with Philip on the issue, and PR is almost ready. We are making the some naming convention changes. Once that's done tomorrow, so we'll raise the PR, and it will be the big one actually. So we are trying to split it, but I don't know, like Brian can suggest once we will raise the whole change first time, and then we can split it.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
It's always easier to criticize than to build something.
And that's great, actually. That's how quality can be increased.
Yeah, that was some really nice teamwork, that PR.
Thanks. Okay.
Satyam, I had a question here. Prashant.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so Satyam, in our implementation of Snapshot right now, in what you implemented, are you using CRDs? This came from our technical team. Or are you using, how are you implementing the CRD, or sorry, the Snapshot support right now?
Snapshot support, as we discussed previously, Prashant, like we have the volume snapshot and the volume snapshot data as two CRDs.
Okay.
These are kept in the Kubernetes external storage, incubator external storage. Okay. So there we don't have the client side generated for this particular CRDs. So we had to generate them. Actually, there is a PR on the external storage, which is not merged yet. Okay. So what we have done is we have generated, like modified the contents from that PR, and we have generated the client side by ourselves, and we have kept it in the separate repo in OpenEBS. And then we are adding that as a dependency in the view scope to implement the further implementation of creation, then visualization, creation and visualization of snapshot plus creating a clone.
I see. So any plans to move that from the into the will it always be independent of the scope repo? Like will it sit in OpenEBS repo? Like
yeah. So again, like as previous discussion, this is just a temporary solution. Once volume snapshot and volume snapshot data becomes the entry in Kubernetes, so we will remove the dependency of OpenEBS, because client Go will have this functionality in the upstream. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, the reason is that we were trying to understand how the Portworx volumes will be seen, and I was sure that there was something to do. I mean, your implementation used the CRD, but I forgot the client Go part, which then will be merged upstream. Got it. Okay.
Cool. Happy to help.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you have an update? Anything you wanted to share, Philip?
No, there is like, I mean, Brian maybe knows more, but there is like one of our WeWorks colleagues had a PR open for like the build process in Circle CI. There was a caching issue. Yeah, I'm not sure how much it actually affected the scope standalone. But yeah, that's something that's been going on, and on my part, I didn't do anything but this snapshot icon. After this PR, like the build is fixed. Yeah, no, it's yeah, nothing on my side, nothing else I was working on.
Brian, do you know anything more about the build stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, we usually, we're kind of on the next part of the agenda now, right? We go through all the recent PRs. I mean, it's PR 3353. It's changing the way that we call yarn, which I never really understood very well. But anyway, the way I converted to Circle 2 tripped up somebody, Philip or Simon or somebody who didn't expect it to work in that particular way, and Marcus has changed it to work in another way. As of right now, the integration tests are still running, so he must have changed it recently or rerun it recently or something. And I mean, I did notice that it slowed down the build, which is why I kind of complained about it. But or at least I queried that. Anyway, we'll just we'll just carry on with the usual process for that. If it works, we'll merge it.
Okay. Right, yeah, as you just mentioned, maybe we go over the PRs, the 3.3, increase the font size so you can actually read what I'm looking at. This is the one we just talked about. This one.
Yeah, can you, even though it is within the 2 weeks, yeah, can we just talk about the 3347?
Yes.
So it failed the integration build test, the integration test step and CI, and I've just repushed it just now. So I think we touched on this last time. The integration tests require credentials to run to create virtual machines. So we don't give that out to anyone else. We only run that build CI step on branches that come from the Weaveworks repo. And we've talked about 5 times about maybe there's another way to do that, but we haven't implemented another way to do it. So that's the way it sits. So so that PR has been basically sitting there. Yeah, to restart the build for integration test is not enough to click the restart button. You have to pull the branch and push it to the Weaveworks repo. Otherwise, it won't run that step, or at least it won't do anything.
Yeah, I briefly talked to Fons last week, and he said, yeah, he has a good idea of what would need to be done, but he was busy right now. So I suggested I asked if I should ask Matthias what could be done, or I don't know. I wanted to pull in others to get the discussion going somewhere, but since then it looks like Fons was busy again. So I can't really report anything new on the issue.
Just a quick question. These integration tests, are they actually end-to-end? Like, do UI changes affect them potentially, or?
I don't know. I mean, mostly not. But what it's doing is it's firing up processes and trying various things to see if they think it works. And I don't think it goes particularly through the UI. I think it works through the API, but you'd have to read them all to be certain of that.
Okay. I guess we shouldn't make any assumptions there. I mean, one thing we discussed before, I think, was splitting the run test conditionally depending on what changed, and the easiest first step would be run front-end tests for front-end changes, PRs, backend for backend. That is discussed somewhere in one of these issues. So that would consequently solve this particular one, because it's it's just pure
Well, yeah, but the bigger point is you got to solve it somehow. I mean, it's just been sitting there basically not doing anything because maybe the awareness wasn't there that what you actually have to do is you have to push the branch to the Weaveworks repo.
Okay.
So I've now done that, and I've put a comment on it, and I don't know how many other places we can say that. That's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So just a quick question. This will be the case for all the PRs coming from the folks?
Yeah, unless you set up your own Circle CI account with your own ability to create VMs. If you want to use the Weaveworks CI with our Google Cloud account, then it has to be pushed from our branch.
Okay. Actually, sorry, Brian, to interrupt. For me as an external contributor, I don't see point integration tests. I think those should be triggered later once the PR is merged. I mean, Vueworks specific integration tests, right?
They're not Weaveworks specific integration tests. They're very generic integration tests, but they run a bunch of VMs. So it costs us money every time somebody does that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, that's right.
and worse, they could use those credentials to run a massive Bitcoin mining farm. So
Yeah,
that's where we are. We've discussed, like I say, many times, we've discussed there should be a better way of doing it. Like in Kubernetes, someone says /OK to test. That's all it is. Like somebody has to approve the change before it gets to use the credentials.
right.
Just a question: is there an issue open for that? Was it discussed on GitHub or somewhere else?
If we don't have one, I'm happy to find one. So
2192.
Oh, okay. 2192.
was it 2?
2192.
2192.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's another one just outside the 2-week window, 3339, which I posted, and it's a doc change, and so it just needs someone to sign off on it.
No worries.
I know we basically, with funds kind of wandering off, we really don't have any other maintainers, but well, I don't know, maybe we could discuss that point.
Which one was it? Sorry.
3339.
Right. I thought I had pinged him about it, but it looks like he just took a look at the other one. Okay.
So we're saying on that position then that it has to be approved by fonts.
No, not at all. Like, I mean, the way approval happens these days, it's not tied to fonts. No.
Okay. So how can we move this one forward?
I personally wouldn't know how to make images public. AMI.
No, I've written how to make it public.
Right. Yes.
All you need to do, or all anybody needs to do, is approve 6-line documentation change.
Sure. Where's the?
Go files change.
Where did the approve button go?
Right here.
Ah,
Go to the files changed. Yeah.
sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Right, I'll do it after the meeting. It's obscured, the button. Right. Okay.
Okay, so I think beyond that, all the older ones, my 2 are, we talked about them last time. My 3 actually are all waiting for me to do something.
Okay.
What about 3117? Have we ever talked about that?
Simon was gonna pick up on that one. Maybe I can ping him and ask him what's going on. I think he just like got sidetracked by.
Okay, we can.
So he was gonna review it.
Sure, let's check this one offline then. All right, and these are the bugs since last meeting. Oh yeah, I saw that TCP tracer. That wasn't. Yes.
Yeah, we don't know how it got stuck.
And do you know since when this started happening? Is this a very recent thing?
It's only ever happened once.
Okay.
Well, to my knowledge. I mean, that's why we report these things. So if it happens again, someone will say, this happened to me too.
Sure, I understand. The question I was asking was because there was the GoBPF update, which I did, where they updated to a new kernel header and they added a couple of changes, and I was just wondering if that might be related, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
We have not done a release since then.
The vendor bits were updated. So this was
We still haven't done a release.
This is vendored. This is vendored code. Like it was updated.
Right, but for the customer
Right, of course.
to hit this problem, we would have to release it to them.
Yes, yes, right.
Unless they built the code themselves, which I don't
Right.
remember that being the case.
Right. Okay, yeah, it was just a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any comments on this one.
Yeah, well, I guess we could perhaps comment on my idea about having a watchdog timer. Because there's like a timer that will print out this is taking a long time, but we could have a timer which would literally panic or something like that, and so that would be more useful in this case, and perhaps less useful in some other cases. I don't know, but if we set a timer at 30 seconds or something like that, then it really ought to never hit the timer.
Yes. You said it might not be so useful in other cases.
Well, that's the problem with having watchdog timers and liveness probes and things like that. Is sometimes that's the behavior you want, and sometimes it isn't the behavior you want. And you kind of don't know which state you're going to be in any given week.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to resolve the issue, but it might still be useful.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of stupid. It just sat there doing nothing. Well, the other thing about dying is so it works well in Kubernetes, where Kubernetes will restart you. But if you're in some other environment, like plain Docker or something like that, we don't set a restart policy. Or we don't currently set a restart policy. Anyway, we spent too long talking about this already.
Okay. So the next one is 3351.
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned with the build process, not with caching, not really working. So there is an open PR. Yeah, that's gonna be merged soon, I guess. Brian and I commented. Oh, Brian commented. Constructing. Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. Yes.
That's the PR. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Next one is 3350.
Yeah, so I don't know about this one, but I know we've been doing it with other WeWorks projects, so that's fine. Open as well. Yeah, UI components.
Do you think that's going to have a big impact, or should be?
I don't know. I didn't check actually what's new in this release. So, but it's always good to have them in sync.
Yes.
Or like it's easier to like proxy.
Right. Okay. And Simon, and you are maybe going to.
I didn't see this one before, but like it's like that. I mean, yeah, one of the three of us guys also there is probably gonna pick it up soon, like within days, I imagine.
Right. I saw he updated a couple of other components as well. Cool. All right. This 3346, another one of yours?
Yeah, that's the one. I just opened it, like I didn't discover it. But yeah, it's related to that PR there that had integration tests failing. So it's been solved. It's one-liner, which has not been merged because of integration tests failing.
Okay.
It was never run.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, I just tested it like locally, and it works.
Okay. There's 3345 with an DKE Istio issue. Helm install WeaveScope and okay. Debug output and then do we have like a list of general debug steps and stuff we expect from people for scope? Like, I could imagine that there's a lot of.
Well, I think that's what this person has followed to paste in all this stuff.
Okay, so in that case, we have everything.
Whether we have everything or not.
Yeah, that's my question. I never had to debug scope, so I wouldn't know. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's. I couldn't. It would surprise me if it was Istio related. I don't know if you've seen other GKE issues.
It could be the GKE have upgraded to CRI or something like that. Which is something we apparently don't ask about. Guess we could ask that.
Yeah, maybe that's something we could ask. Okay. We'll move on to the next one. There was just one left. Oh no, two. This one about OpenShift. It's one as a feature suggestion. Yes. Not sure how many in our community use OpenShift. We have a help wanted thing. Yes.
Thanks, but you didn't read it yet.
I mean, the summary was a good start already.
Yeah.
Yes. And here's the last one, another one by Philip.
Yes. So
3342.
that one is about basically what we have in place now is that if you open scope on a really big topology, which is estimated by the number of nodes and edges it receives from the backend, it makes a decision whether the topology is too big for nice visualization, and if it is, it automatically switches to table mode. So the idea is that this is probably what we want to keep, but the problem there is that if you want to like share a link pointing at your graph mode, and so if you share a link with someone and someone enters that link in a browser, that heuristics is still going to be run. It's going to, like on initialization, it's going to look at like see that we are in a graph node, and it's going to automatically switch to table mode. So that actually happens right now for like Weave Cloud, and like if you share links, like not a priority, I guess, but just the idea is that the state should really, like the URL state, reflect the state of the system, and if you copy paste the link, it should like display the same info. And we also have like reasons why we wanna like incentive to make it so internally for Weave Cloud. So yeah, I was gonna pick it up at some point, but yeah, get sidetracked a bit. Maybe I can add help wanted.
Okay, do that.
Because it's really, yeah, someone else can pick it up if they want. It's really rather straightforward.
Cool. Yeah, I think that was all. Yeah, I just summarize what I signed up to do. I'm going to ask Simon about the one PR. I'm going to approve the other one from you, Brian. And as I said, work together with Satyam and others for Hacktoberfest. I think that's all I had on my list.
I'm gonna help with that issue tagging and yeah, try to close these ones that I opened.
Great. From my side, I have Akash here, so we will send a PR and we'll help Philip around. Daniel around the Hacktoberfest.
Cool. Did anyone else have anything to discuss or bring up? Any concerns, ideas, wishes?
I just wanted to maybe ask, like, how would this work with Hacktoberfest? Like, would the scope be like forked once, and then people would like submit a bunch of PRs? Would it be like overlapping PRs? We would ideally want to merge some of them if they're good. So like, what might we expect? Like how, I don't know, like are people gonna work on different issues or on the same issues? Are there gonna be competing PRs?
Yeah, Philip, good question actually. As per our previous experience in OpenEBS project, we had contributors coming in and putting the comment on the issue that they are working on that and sending the PR for the same. We also observed that for one issue, multiple PRs were there. Okay, so this happens this is a very general case that people will work on that particular issue and multiple people, and they will send PRs from their side. So we have to choose the best one. While we also have to encourage the